Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Well, after an 8-game slide, it was finally good to see the Tigers bats come alive last night. They were booming here at the cell. 7 runs on 18 hits. Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers hoping for more of the same here this afternoon. The sun has finally made an appearance here in Chicago. Game 3 in this series featuring the Tigers and the White Sox. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario Tumba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us for the series finale, rubber game of the match, because the Tigers bats finally came alive last night, Rod, something we've been waiting for a long time.
Well, you knew somebody was going to pay. I mean, the Tigers have way too much talent on the offensive end to play the way that they were playing. They had not been getting it done with runners in scoring position. They did a much better job last night, thanks to the guys batting 7th, 8th, and 9th, and, of course, led by the big fella.
All right, now, Jose Iglesias has been playing some of his best baseball of his career. Missed all of last year, of course, but you really couldn't tell it by the way he's playing it with the glove and the bat.
Well, we knew he was stellar defensively, but we did not know we were going to get the kind of offensive production that we've gotten this year from Jose Iglesias. Let's take a look at some of his defensive prowess this season. Of course, he might just win his first Gold Glove at the shortstop position. He's only made 3 errors so far this year, and he's got tremendous range, and he's very athletic, and he plays the game with a lot of energy. But not only that, I mean, this cat's batting .338. No number 9 hitter has gotten more base hits than Jose Iglesias. He is very fun to watch. He is worth the price of admission. I'd buy a ticket to come watch him play if I didn't get in free.
Well, you get in free.
I do.
I'll tell you what, we've got a pretty good pitching matchup in this one here as well today. Alfredo Simon and Jeff Samardzija, both of these guys are capable of really dominating the opponents.
You know, they really are. Simon's probably been the Tigers' most consistent starter all season long. And when you look at Samardzija, boy, did he have a bumpy start his last time out. But he has good numbers against the Tigers. But the Tigers are hoping the Samardzija of 5 days ago, where he gave up 9 runs, which is a career high, also 12 hits, a career high. They're hoping that guy shows up. And if that's the case, they will take their 6th consecutive series right here against Chicago White Sox.
That would be fun to see. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Matt Shepard coming up in this one today. How about we get 2 in a row? Starting a winning streak here to sell today. Tigers and the White Sox, and it's coming up next. Cellular Field. The Tigers getting set to take on the Chicago White Sox. Our field conditions today presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. 77 at game time. A little bit humid as well. 70% humidity. There is some possible rain in the forecast later today. Hopefully we will get this in before the rain begins to fall here in Chicago. The Tigers starting lineup today for the final game of the series presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Anthony goes back in there leading off in center field, followed by Kinsler and Cabrera. Cespedes DHing today. Collins will play left. It'll be JD in right. You've got Castellanos, McCann, and Iglesias, who has 37 hits out of the 9 spot, which is the most in the major leagues. And the Tigers today facing Jeff Samardzija.
And Samardzija coming off a very rocky start 5 days ago. He gave up a career 9 runs, career 12 hits. Overall, he checks in with a 4.68. He's a low 3/4 arm slot, mid-90s fastball. He's got a curve, slider, and also a changeup. Let's take a look at the Chicago White Sox behind Samardzija this afternoon. It is always brought to you by Tim Hortons. Cabrera, Eaton, and Garcia in the outfield. Tigers fans know all about Garcia and the fact that he's got a very strong throwing arm. He has 7 outfield assists this season, second in the major leagues behind Delman Young. Does that Delman Young surprise you?
I was trying to think of another D. Young because I just couldn't believe it.
Delman.
There's Avisail Garcia, the former Tiger, and he is patrolling right here today as the sun is shining right now at the ballpark. And we're happy for that as Anthony Gose stands in for the Tigers. It'll be Gose, Kinsler, and Miguel Cabrera facing Jeff Samardzija. Here comes the first pitch of today's ball game, a swing and a miss by Gose.
And the one thing that Samardzija will be trying to accomplish here is that's get through the very first inning without giving up a run. He has given up a major league high 16 runs in the very first inning.
Gose batting .296, 1 home run so far this year, and he swings and misses again. The numbers on Samardzija, 16 of that first inning, most in the major leagues. He has just gotten off to some bad starts.
A couple of off-speed pitches thrown to Anthony Gose. Anthony Gose had good numbers against him coming in.
Gose cuts and misses. 3 pitches, 3 swings and misses, 1 gone.
That's a split-fingered fastball that he throws to the left-hander. Samardzija will not use that splitter too often to right-handed batters. Mostly to righties, he goes fastball and slider. But he will throw more cutters and splitters and changeups to the lefties.
They'll bring up Ian Kinsler, who has perked up a little bit offensively in this series, 3 for 10. He's got himself a modest 3-game hitting streak. Samardzija cranks it home and throws a strike. 0-1 on Ian Kinsler, who is still 6th in the American League in multi-hit games. He's got 20 of those, despite the slump toward the end of May and into June. Kinsler cuts and misses 0-2.
Awkward looking swing taken by Ian Kinsler on the 94-mile-per-hour sinker thrown by Samardzija.
Samardzija goes 6'5". He is 235 out of Maryville, Indiana. It's hit toward right field, slicing away from Garcia, but he will get there for the out. 2 gone. That'll bring up Miguel Cabrera.
And Miggy led the charge from an offensive standpoint last night. He got the boys on the board very early. He took John Danks deep straightaway center field. But it was some bottom feeders that really got off last night for the Tigers, and that would be Wilson, that would be McCann and Iglesias. They had 10 hits between the trio.
The Tigers are obviously a much better team when more folks are contributing. Aside from Cabrera, they got it all last night with 18 hits. 0-1 on Miguel. 325. The home run last night was his 12th of the year. He's knocked in 38 now. Still leading the American League in on-base percentage at .430 this season. Here's Samardzija's 0-1. He finally misses the strike zone. 1 ball and 1 strike. This is the third start of the year for Samardzija against the Tigers. His previous two have been pretty good. 3 runs in 15 innings. That is chopped foul, third base side. 1-2 now on Miguel. Tigers with their win last night back up over the 500 mark at 29-28. Cespedes in the on-deck circle. He is the DH today for the Tigers.
Yeah, usually with 2 strikes, Samardzija goes with some type of an off-speed pitch, but it looks like they're going upstairs with a fastball.
He got a piece of that 95-mile-an-hour heater.
Best fastball that Samardzija has thrown thus far.
White Sox got Samardzija. And the deal that involved Marcus Semien and Josh Phegley from the Athletics. It's another foul. 1-2 the count stays on Miguel.
Miggy's done his best work under the sunlight. A .419 batting average with 10 home runs and 29 driven in.
Hard to believe that last night's home run was just his second hit in a night game this year. I mean, we're in the month of June.
Right.
Well, that's just how the splits have gone down this year.
Big gust of wind.
Yeah.
And caused the home plate umpire Chris Guccione to call timeout.
Boy, it is getting windy right now. 20-mile-an-hour winds, we're told. There's another one flared back out of play, so Cabrera giving Samardzija fits. 2 out, nobody on, just underway here from U.S. Cellular Field. It is the Tigers and White Sox in the finale in this series.
If you're Samardzija, your best chance at getting Miggy out might just be with the fastball if you can elevate it in an area where he can't get to it, where he can't extend his arms. Too risky maybe to throw a breaking ball that you'll make a mistake with. Another heater.
Cabrera skies this one in the air down the right field line. Garcia coming over, but it's back out of play. So Cabrera now has fouled off 6 pitches in this at bat, 5 in a row. After 2 quick outs for Samardzija, he's having trouble putting Miggy away. As a lot of pitchers in the big leagues have. That'll get down in the dirt. Soto down to block him. The count goes 2-2. Cabrera has that consecutive game streak of reaching base at 25 in a row now with his home run last night.
That is the longest such streak in the major leagues.
See if he can extend it in this at bat. Low, 3-2. Mentioned a couple of nights ago, the longest streak in his career was 44 straight. That was back in the 2013 season. But this has become an epic at bat here. This will be the 10th pitch in this at bat against Samardzija. And he walked it. So Cabrera extends his streak, 26 in a row of reaching base. 2-out base runner, and that's going to bring Soto out to the mound after that lengthy battle. Brings up Yoenis Cespedes. Cespedes, pretty good series so far, 4 for 9. He continues to bat in the cleanup spot for Brad Ausmus in the absence of Victor Martinez. Tigers had J.D. Martinez in that spot for a while. J.D. was bumped down. Cespedes moved up. Looks at ball 1. Samardzija got banged up in his last start. 9 runs in 5 innings, allowing 12 hits in that start against Texas. There's another one that missed. 2 balls, no strikes.
That Texas team all of a sudden playing some pretty good baseball, trying to chase down the Houston Astros.
Here are the numbers in that start. And Texas, all of a sudden, 3.5 outs. Moving into second place in the West.
Cespedes has 7 home runs this year, and one of those came against Samardzija. It was a slider on April 17th that Cespedes was able to get to and hit it over the Tigers' bullpen very deep into the left field seats.
Well, Samardzija needed just 6 pitches to get the first 2 outs in this game, but he has struggled on the next 2 hitters. Yoenis fouls it off at home plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Cespedes. Cespedes a grand slam against Quintana this year. You saw the home run that he got against Samardzija. The 2-2 is lifted foul down the right field lines, turning into a lengthy inning now for Samardzija.
And Miguel Cabrera and now Yoenis Cespedes doing a very nice job in making Samardzija throw a bunch of pitches. Miggy fouled off 6. Cespedes is now fouled off 3.
Yoenis has 3 homers this year against Sox pitching, 7 RBIs. Waiting on a 2-2. And that's line to left, a base hit. Cabrera goes to second base. He'll stop there, and Cespedes with a single. 2 on, 2 outs.
Hard to throw a fastball by Cespedes. This is at 94, and it's at the bottom of the zone, and all he does is drop the barrel of the bat in the hitting zone and basically allowed Samardzija to supply some of that power, which allowed him to whistle that ball right through the left side of the infield.
Tyler Collins is batting in the 5 spot today, playing out in left field. He'll step in. And he shoots one in the air to shallow center field, and that ball's going to drop a base hit. Here comes Cabrera rounding third. They send him home, and he will score. Tyler Collins, a 2-out RBI single. 1-0 Detroit.
And the first inning troubles continue for Jeff Samardzija. That is now the 17th run that he has given up in the very first inning. Nice job of fighting off this fastball upstairs by Collins. He got enough of it to hit it into shallow center field, just in front of Eaton. Eaton with a strong throw toward home, but not before Miguel Cabrera sliding in safely. Mickey got a great break off of second base, obviously with 2 outs.
Samardzija retired the first 2 batters on 6 pitches. And now the Tigers have clawed a run against him. Here's JD, who looks at a ball inside.
This first inning thing's got to be getting in the head of Samardzija.
Is that 17 now?
17 of his team's 47. That's 1/3 of his team's runs given up in the first inning. He's given up.
One ball, 1 strike on J.D. Martinez.
And meanwhile, nice job by the skipper, Brad Osmus, bumping Collins up to that number 5 spot today.
And Collins responds with his 5th RBI of the season. 1st and 3rd for the Tigers. And 2 outs. J.D. shoots one right to the shortstop on a line, and Ramirez hauls it in. Hard hit ball, but the Tigers settle for 1 run and lead 2. But first, the starting lineup for the Chicago White Sox, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Eaton, Cabrera, Abreu at the top for Chicago. LaRoche, Garcia, and Alexei Ramirez, who's had a nice series. And you've got Gillespie at third base today. Soto is catching. Sanchez is down at second. They're facing Alfredo Simon, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Alfredo Simon comes from a high three-quarter arm slot. He checks in 5 wins, 3 losses on the season. He's got a fastball that will top out at about 95. He's got a curve, he's got a slider, he's got a cutter, and he's got a splitter that he uses more than any major league pitcher in the big leagues.
So Alfredo goes to work against Adam Eaton, the leadoff man for Chicago. And Eaton looks at strike one. Lights are on here at the ballpark, and all of a sudden it's gotten cloudy again. It was sunny when the Tigers were at the plate.
As long as that rain stays away.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It is in the area. There is some scheduled for later today. Eaton chops one foul.
Already one of those splitters thrown by Simon on the very second pitch of the game.
Alfredo walked a season high 5 in his last start. Allowed 4 runs, 5-3 loss to the Athletics. But overall this year has been pretty consistent for Detroit. Will bounce in, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Eaton. The Sox leadoff man batting .233. He's hit 3 home runs. But certainly power is not a big part of his game. He tries to get on base, wreak havoc, and set up the big bats in their lineup. That is popped up shallow left field. Who wants it? Ghost and Collins. Ghost cruising over from his center field position.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Bill Fox Chevrolet. And Collins in left field this afternoon. Goes in center. J.D. Martinez, he's anchored over in right. Ian Kinsler, he is the second baseman, and he's been very good at that position in his last 2 years. In this particular season, 37 double plays, second among all second basemen. Jose Altuve checks in at number 1.
Here's Melky Cabrera. He is batting in the 2 spot in this lineup today for Robin Ventura. They had Alexei Ramirez batting at the 2 spot, and he was doing awfully well there the last couple of games. Well, they want Cabrera in that spot with the left-handed bat today. And for Melky, he's done a whole lot better against right-handed pitch. Did not play yesterday because of the lefty David Price, and he's batting just .080 against lefties. Drives this one to center field, hard hit, straight it goes. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Jose Abreu. Only 1 hit in the series, 1 for 8. The hit was a double in the early part of game 1, which drove in a run. He's knocked in 33 on the season. Strike 1 on Abreu. Rookie of the year last year. What a monster season he had. 36 home runs in his first year in the United States. He'll drive that one to center. It's a solid single with 2 outs. Abreu was on. Now Adam LaRoche. Three for 7 with a home run in the series, and boy, what a big home run it was. On Friday night, 2 outs in the 9th to tie the game. A game in which the Sox would eventually win in extra innings. Pulled on the ground off the glove of Miggy at first base, and there will be no play.
Don't know how they're going to rule that, but that might just be the first error of the season for the big fella. We'll see.
I think it probably will be. Rare upset with himself.
Well, Miggy will tell you he should have made the play. But he is holding the runner on. We'll see what the official scorekeeper is thinking this afternoon.
In any event, the White Sox have 2 men on now with 2 outs. Ruled in an error. So it is indeed the first error of the season for Miguel. And here is Avi Garcia standing in. A couple of RBIs in the series for Garcia. One of them came the hard way. He was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded to win the game on Friday night for Chicago. He also homered in that game. Ball 1, good block at home by McCann. Simon won his first 4 starts, his first 4 consecutive starts in a Tigers uniform. And Garcia looks at a strike. 1-1 on Avisail Garcia. Alfredo, after 4 starts as a Tiger, had an ERA of 1.65. Then things leveled out a bit. The ERA coming in still sub 3. Here's the 1-1.
Yeah, Simon and both Shane Green got off to spectacular starts, and that's why the Tigers came out the gates pretty good at 11-2 record when the season started.
One of the main reasons, Shane won his first 3 and Simon won his first 4. Tigers were cruising along.
Jeff Jones and Brad Ausmus all smiles early today.
Driven high in the air toward left center field. Ghost is on the move. So is Collins. They will both look up, and that ball is out of here. A 3-run shot for Avisail Garcia. 3-1 Chicago.
Earlier in the at-bat, Avisail Garcia took a split-fingered fastball at the top of the zone for a strike. He wasn't going to allow the second one to get by without making contact, and good contact indeed he made.
Garcia hits his 6th of the season, and Ramirez hits one to center field deep but playable and caught by Ghost. So the 2-out error keeps the inning going, and Garcia makes him pay. McCann, Wilson, and Iglesias. Hoping the Tigers to a victory last evening. Tigers had 18 hits in the ball game last night. And James McCann was part of that last night. He'll bat second in this inning. Tigers have 7, 8, 9 coming up. Castellanos, McCann, and Iglesias.
It's a tough league, isn't it? Josh Wilson with 4 hits yesterday, and he was sitting on the bench.
I was thinking the same thing. And really, the big 2-run hit in the first game, too. Can't crack the lineup today.
Yeah, he would have been a hero in that game had they not been able to come back in the 9th to tie it and win it in the 11th.
Meanwhile, Castellanos, hitting .234, has a 3-game hit streak now. Starting things off in the second. Tigers have surrendered the lead on the 3-run homer by Garcia in the first. Now we'll see what Samardzija can do with a 2-run advantage. Samardzija gave up the 2-out walk, then a couple of singles to give up a run in the first. Here's the 0-2. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Nick Castellanos. A couple of hits in the series for Nick. He is 2 out of 8. Foul tip into the glove for strike 3. 1 gone. Let's check in now with John Keating, who has a little bit more on Josh Wilson.
Yeah, you mentioned the 4 hits that Wilson had yesterday. That ties a career high, or did it? Because Wilson maintains still to this day that he actually had 5 hits in a game back when he played for the Tampa Bay Rays in 2007 against the Orioles. He wants people to dig deeper and check it out. He does that with a smile. I asked him after a 4-hit game whether his cell phone blew up. Now, he's 34 years old. He's been around a long, long time. He said, yes, it blew up, but now it blows up with texts from my in-laws.
And those wanting tickets as well, I'm sure.
Yes. The assistant general manager, Al Avila, does a wonderful job at bringing in guys to come up during the course of the season that might be able to help in a pinch. And Wilson was that guy yesterday that really did a nice job, really, for the last 2 days.
Hey, John, was it possible that one of those hits is ruled in air that Wilson's thinking about?
I think you're onto something there.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those situations where the next day they look at it and all of a sudden one team makes a plea on behalf of their pitcher, and so perhaps it was taken away from him. He just didn't get that memo, and he's still steamed about it.
All right, John, thanks. We will check further into that as McCann stands in with a 2-1 count now. 285 for McCann. 3 out of 8 in the series. We'll pop this one up. Straight up. Right at home plate. Soto. 2 gone.
If you missed the last couple of days, here's what Josh Wilson has done. He started at third base on Friday and Saturday. Came up with a big hit with a couple of runners aboard and drove in 2. And the Tigers were looking like they were going to win that contest. And then in last night's game, 4 hits for Wilson.
Josh not messing around, taking advantage of his opportunities to play. Tigers, in effect, replaced Hernan Perez with Wilson, who has had big league time with several different organizations. Tigers is 9th team. Here is Iglesias. This guy's been on fire. Jose with a .338 average, 5 hits in the series. Not to mention flashing that nifty glove work. Here's Samardzija's 1-0. Even the count now on Iglesias.
We're only in the month of June, but you would have to think that Iglesias is probably getting mentioned as possibly winning his first Gold Glove in the American League this year with all the plays that he's made.
Swing and a miss. Yeah, I'm with you on that. You know, I think if he was in the National League, he probably would have trouble with Simmons out there, and with Simmons of the Braves. But in the American League,
Escobar will give him a run for his money in Kansas City for sure.
And I'm not sure there are too many more that would be at his level or above. It's outside of the count. Even it's 2-2 on Iglesias.
Plays the game with a tremendous amount of energy and has a lot of fun doing so.
Should he reach, Ghost would be next. Samardzija in search of the 1-2-3 inning.
there back out of play.
If you're the Tigers, you have to continue to keep the pressure on Samardzija. Once he gets past the third inning, he gets a whole lot better. His numbers go down drastically.
Bouncing ball left side, cut off at third by Gillespie. His throw is in time, and Samardzija gets a 1-2-3 inning. U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. We welcome you all and we thank you for your service. Well, the Tigers have some work to do. They're down 3-1 on the home run by Garcia. Simon goes back to the hill in the second, facing the bottom three. It'll be Gillespie, Soto, and Sanchez. Connor starting at third base today for the White Sox, batting .254. Simon brings it home and throws ball one. Alfredo retired the first two batters in the first, but then gave up a single, was victimized by an error, and then the three-run shot. Gillespie, couple of home runs this year. He's knocked in 12. The chopper to the right side of the infield. Here comes Cabrera. He'll take it himself. One out. 3 unassisted in the scorebook. We'll bring up the catcher, Giovanni Soto. Soto is 0 for 3 with a walk in the series, batting .205. Former Chicago Cubs catcher. In fact, Soto began his career on the north side here in Chicago. 8 seasons with the Cubs. And he has caught most of Samardzija's starts this year, 9 of his previous 11 starts. So make it 10-12 now with Samardzija on the mound. Soto's career began with a bang with the Chicago Cubs. In fact, he was Rookie of the Year with the Cubs. Catching spot, Rod, one of those spots, man, if you can handle a pitching staff, really the offensive part of the game doesn't matter a whole lot. You can find yourself a job. Just swing and a miss.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, so few guys that can play just once a week and go out and handle the pitching staff, throw properly to all the bases, and really call a good game. Soto was one of those guys.
That'll bounce in and away from McCann. 2-2.
That's why you see a lot of really good backup catchers. They stay around in the big leagues for a long, long time.
Pretty good gig. Sanchez waiting on deck. We're in the second. 1 out, nobody on. Cloudy and overcast here in Chicago. It's grounded foul. Lights are on here at the ballpark, and as we mentioned, it was sunny in the top of the first inning, and then the clouds started rolling in again. Raining all morning long here in Chicago. Then it finally stopped about an hour and a half before game time. Did he go? Yes, he sure did, says Jeff Nelson down at first base. Soto is out. First strikeout for Simon.
It's a good call by Jeff Nelson, first base umpire. Soto went too far.
That'll bring up Carlos Sanchez, the number 9 hitter, who's batting just .155 this year. Ball 1. Gordon Beckham is out of the lineup today. Was playing third base. They've got Gillespie at third today with Sanchez at second. It's ball 2 to the number 9 hitter. It's Gordon Beckham, who's having kind of a resurgence this year with Chicago. He was traded over to the Angels last year, and many say that little trip away from Chicago kind of cleared his head a little bit. Now he's back and playing well here. It's ball 3.
Played under a lot of pressure in his first tour of duty, number 1 draft choice. They expected a lot more out of him offensively, and Gordon Beckham was never really able to live up to those expectations. Defensively at second base, he was outstanding.
That's it for a strike. And Sanchez, 3-1. This is a Chicago team that just really can't find any major traction. So much was expected of this club with all the offseason moves they made. And there's ball 4. So Simon walks the number 9 hitter. He didn't want to do that. Sanchez came in batting .155. Hey, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by the 2 for $5 mix or match Filet-O-Fish and 10-piece McNuggets.
Sometimes when you make as many moves as the Chicago White Sox made in the offseason, it takes a while for the team to come together, the team to gel, but you don't expect it to be 8 weeks, 9 weeks into the regular season.
Well, and a couple of those pieces that they were expecting a lot of really had not performed. Slice toward left field, and Collins diving, can't get it. Fair ball. It's going to go all the way to the corner. This will get a run in. Sanchez will score. To third base goes Eaton, and he's in there standing up. And it's 4-1 White Sox.
Very dangerous play here by Collins. The ball sliced off the left-hander's bat, Adam Eaton, and once Collins leaves his feet and comes up empty, there's no one to help. Even Ghost, with all his speed, can't get there in time to prevent Eaton from getting his 4th triple of the season.
If you make that play, you're on every highlight reel for the next couple of days, but if you don't make that play, a run scores. And that's exactly what has happened. The White Sox lead 4-1 now. And here's Melky Cabrera, who takes ball 1. Cabrera, one of the players I was about to mention that really has not had the type of year they were hoping for, at least not to this point. Melky batting just .229. Had a big year last year. And that one is skied in the air to shallow center. Ghosts coming in, still coming. And it's Iglesias with the over-the-shoulder grab. Boy, Jose bailing everybody out. Terrific play to save a run and end the inning. You're watching Tigers baseball today, presented by Bell Tire. short center field with his back to the infield. And over the shoulder grab. Otherwise, the White Sox right now would be leading 5-1. So some more outstanding defense from Iglesias. Anthony Gose showing bunt. He'll start things off here in the third.
Anthony Gose came into this contest batting .500 against Samardzija, 4 for 8. And Samardzija struck him out in the first on 3 off-speed pitches.
Slowing away.
So 5 of the 6 pitches he's thrown to Anthony Gose have been off speed. So if you're Gose, you pretty much have a pretty good idea how he's going to attack you today.
We're going to see an advantage there with the pitcher-batter matchup. Samardzija and Gose. Gose doing good work. Two balls, 1 strike on Anthony, trying to get something started. Every base runner in this game so far has come with 2 outs. Kinsler waiting on deck. Here's the 2-1 from Samardzija. 2-2. Gose struck out on 3 pitches. In fact, 3 swings and misses to start the ball game. Rajay played in the first 2 games. Gose gets the call against the righty today. Chopper to the shortstop. Alexei Ramirez on the move. And Gose is out.
Let's take a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game to end that last half inning. Iglesias ranged into the outfield to make a real nice catch. Gose wasn't going to get there, nor was Collins. But let's flash back to August of last year, right here in this ballpark, and one of the best plays you will ever see a shortstop make. Barehanded, throwing off balance, feet off the ground, but still accurately enough to Prince Fielder to get the out at first. That was a couple of years ago.
So Iglesias done some of his best glove work in this ballpark. Kinsler is standing in. He had flied out in his first at bat. That last pitch sent Soto running out to the mound.
Speaking of Prince Fielder, did you know he was leading the American League in hits with 79?
I did.
And you know there are not a lot of infield singles either.
There may be actually 0 probably with Prince. No balls, 1 strike. High pop up, shallow right field. Here comes Garcia. And there are 2 gone.
It appears to me that Kinsler is concentrating heavily on trying to drive the ball the opposite way. Both of his outs have been made in the air to right field so far this afternoon.
6 in a row retired by Samardzija following the Collins RBI single in the first. Miggy got it started with a walk in the first inning. And eventually scored the Tigers' only run so far. And that base on balls extended Cabrera's streak to 26 consecutive games in which he's reached base. One ball, 1 strike. Cespedes waiting on deck. Samardzija now with the 1-1. Samardzija last year combined to go 7-13 with the Cubs and the A's. Didn't get a whole lot of run support. ERA was 2.99. Over 200 innings, 200 strikeouts. He was dominant in the National League. Swing and a miss. He got Cabrera to chase in a 1-2-3 inning for Samardzija. He's retired 7 straight.
Craig Monroe, as a matter of fact, he went down to Toledo and said Verlander had a firm fastball. It was about 94 all night long. His curveball was a really good curveball. As a matter of fact, Mike Maroff, who's the pitching coach of the Toledo Mid-Audience, and said Verlander's curveball looked like it was a Verlander curveball of a couple of years ago.
Nice.
Wasn't the curveball the pitch that was kind of the last pitch to come for him after that injury to the tricep?
Yep, and it was the pitch that he threw that initially caused the injury.
That's a great sign for the Tigers and their starting staff. I would think that he might get the ball, next weekend in the Motor City?
Yeah, that's what they're hoping. You know, and certainly I think he proved he doesn't need another rehab start.
Don't you have Verlander on speed dial?
I don't know.
Just going to say, maybe text him and ask him.
Just going to text it?
Yeah. Just ask him when he's pitching. John Keating probably does.
Well, Keating's got the president on speed dial.
Does he really?
Oh, he knows everybody. Jose Abreu leads it off.
But that's a really good sign for this team to get Verlander back into that rotation. On the other hand, Bruce Rondon, he was not very good yesterday. And they need him back too, but he just hadn't come around. I mean, he was 98 with his fastball, but it was just kind of flat, straight strike zone, and he got hit around a little bit.
Well, the way the Tigers bullpen has performed this year, for the most part, then maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. Keep Bruce at AAA, get him all straightened out, then get him back up here. He's pulled right to third and caught by Castellanos. Let's check in with John Keating.
I only have Kate's number. I'll ask Kate to ask Justin when they're together. If you have a question about Justin, I'm kidding. Alfredo Simon starting for the Tigers, and I asked Jeff Jones, the Tigers pitching coach, before the game, when will you know what kind of a day it's going to be for Alfredo? And he stopped and he smiled and he said, that's a good question, because what they see from him some of the times is he'll just sort of lose his way a little bit. There'll be 3 or 4 pitches that he wished he'd had back, and then he'll have 10 good ones in a row. His fastball's been consistent. It's the change and the splitter that he needs to find more consistency with.
Well, he gave up the 3-run homer in the first and the RBI triple in the second. And Simon, as we mentioned, has been a little bit more up and down, Rod, lately for the Tigers.
Well, the pitch that he threw to the youngster, the right fielder Garcia, was obviously a split-fingered fastball that was hanging in the strike zone, and it was a 3-run home run as a result of that. And when you throw as many split-fingered fastballs as Simon throws, you're going to hang a few. And a smart-hitting team, they'll sit on them, and every now and then they'll catch up to it. There's a splitter usage right there.
36%. Higher than anybody in the major leagues, not just the American League. Flared back out of play. 0-2 on LaRoche. Sun trying to make another appearance here at the ballpark. We would welcome that. And it's been cloudy and overcast all day. Lights are on here. LaRoche reaching on the air by Cabrera in the first, which kept the door open, and then the Garcia home run. 1-2.
Adam LaRoche, a couple of days ago, hit his 250th big league homer. That home run that tied the game in the 9th inning against Joaquin Soria.
Didn't realize it was a milestone home run for him. Fouled at home plate.
Now here is that home run. Rajay Davis was playing center field. I don't know whether he would have caught it or not, but he got a little close to the wall. He jumped right into the wall as the ball approached center field and couldn't elevate, and that was the game-tying homer hit by LaRoche.
Set that ball game into extra innings, and then the Sox eventually won it. Raj getting the day off today, at least for now. Look out, there goes the bat. Way back in the seats beyond the Tigers' dugouts. He launched that thing on strike 3.
Just an absolute nasty pitch thrown here by Simon at the bottom of the zone. Not sure whether it was his cutter or whether it was his slider, but it was absolutely filthy at 90 miles an hour. That's his cutter. Wow. What action on that pitch.
Man, it had a lot of... I'm not sure I've seen a bat thrown that far in a while. LaRoche making sure everyone's all right. 2 gone here in the third.
everybody okay down there, we hope. Of course, we had a scary reminder of what happened at Fenway Park a couple of nights ago. A fan was injured on a broken bat. 0-1 on Garcia, who slammed a 3-run homer off assignment in the first inning. His 6th of the year. And now 5 RBIs in the series for Javi Garcia. Tigers and White Sox have seen each other a lot early on in this season, and that's probably why the Garcia's half of his home runs have come against Detroit, 3 of the 6.
He's performed very well against the Tigers since they traded him away a couple of years ago.
Here's the 1-1. The Tigers made that trade a couple of years ago, Ron. I think they realized that, you know what, in the future, this guy's probably going to get some big hits against us. I mean, that's just the type of player he's going to be. But they made a deal that got him Iglesias. And you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
There's no doubt about that. The Tigers got themselves an all-star in Iglesias and a future Gold Glove winner. And the White Sox also got themselves a future all-star in Avisail Garcia. And the Tigers needed to do so with the suspension of Johnny Peralta. They needed a shortstop, and obviously they got a really good one in Jose Iglesias. And Jake Peavy, he is now in San Francisco with his former manager Bruce Bochy.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Garcia. We're in the 3rd, 4-1 Chicago. It's the final game in this series. Low and away. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Garcia. Didn't miss by a whole lot.
Firm fastball at 94.
Alexei Ramirez waiting on deck. He would bat if Garcia were to reach. And he will. It's a 2-out walk for Garcia. Game break time. We check in with Johnny Kane. All right, Johnny, thanks. Here's what the Central looks like. The Tigers, courtesy of their win last night, back to within 4 games of first place. And 3 behind the Royals now. Here is Alexei Ramirez. He had another 2-out base runner in this game. All of them have been with 2 outs.
And Garcia has 1 steal. He's been caught 3 times. But if he does pick one of those split-fingered fastballs successfully, he'll be able to steal his 2nd bag here today if he's running. Those guys look like twins, don't they?
Exact twins. Well, stolen bases really haven't been a big part of the White Sox game this year.
Not at all.
They've swiped only 18 this season, which is fewest in the American League and 28th in Major League Baseball.
And they've been caught 14 times.
Oh, that's not good. Ramirez flying to center field in the 1st, his only at bat so far. 4 runs, 3 hits, White Sox. 1 run, 2 hits, Detroit. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Iglesias behind the bag, shovels to Kinsler for the out. And it'll end the inning. No runs, a walk. 1 man left. Coming up for the Tigers, we go to the 4th inning. Yoenis Cespedes will lead things off.
And they're going to have to take a Garcia and bring him out early tomorrow so he can get some sliding practice. I mean, why such a late slide with 2 outs? And how about the look by Ian Kinsler back at him? Like, dude, what are you doing? He's going to kill himself.
Give him like a lawn dart. Garcia's okay. That's a good thing. Well, here's Cespedes now as we go to the 4th.
And Cespedes had a really good at-bat his first time up, singling sharply in the left field on a 94-mile-per-hour fastball at the bottom of the zone thrown by Samardzija.
Singled back in the first inning, and Yoenis looks at a strike. 1-1 count on Cespedes, who is now 5 for 10 in this 3-game series against the White Sox. Samardzija has retired 7 straight. 1-2. Samardzija gave up a 2-out walk and then a single in the first, and then Collins drove in a run with a base hit, but nothing going on since. Tigers got their only run in the first, and the Sox answered with 3 and then got 1 more in the second. There's Collins waiting on deck. Swing and a miss. Cespedes is out of there. It's 8 straight retired by Samardzija. And his 4th strikeout overall. Here's Tyler Collins. Knocked in a run with a bloop single back in the first inning. Tyler now has hit safely in 6 of his last 7. In for strike 1.
We were talking about Samardzija earlier in the game and the fact that you've got to get him early. And once you allow him to settle in, 4th through 6th innings, the earned run average goes all the way down to 2.90 from 7.36. So the Tigers, trailing by 3 now, are really going to have to grind out some at-bats if they're going to beat Jeff today.
He's gone ahead 0-2. That is pulled foul down the right field line. The only hits that Samardzija has given up today have come while he was in the stretch. Ripped to right field. Garcia falls down and rolls by him. All the way to the wall. Collins is going to hit the bag at second. He's coming to third. And he'll get in there safely sliding. Break there for the Tigers.
It looked like Garcia in right field got caught in no man's land. He initially thought that he could catch the line drive off the bat of Collins, and then once he got there, he tried to pull up, and it looked like he just got caught with his feet. He slipped, the ball bounced over his head, and that's a triple for Collins.
Whoa.
About right here, Collins is sensing that he can get to third base.
So a runner at third now with 1 out. Here's J.D. Martinez. And he shoots one to center, a base hit. That'll get the run in. RBI single for J.D. Martinez. It's 4-2.
Classic swing taken here by J.D. Martinez, getting his 24th RBI of the season. Pulls his hands very close to his body and barrels it up. He hit an absolute missile his first time up to the shortstop, Alexi. This one finds a seam on the right side of the infield.
Tripling for Collins, by the way, was his first career triple. Got a little bit of help there from Javi Garcia. Castellanos looks at ball 1.
of a sudden now the Tigers have 4 hits on the board. And the tying run coming to the plate. Nick is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Popped him up. Shallow right field. Garcia coming in. Still coming. And he's going to make the catch. And Martinez, what's he doing?
He forgot how many outs there were.
Oh, he's going to get doubled up. JD was standing at second base. So a double play will end the inning. And the Tigers will settle for 1 run. They get it on the RBI hit by JD Martinez, but he is double. The scouting report on the upcoming draft, which will begin tomorrow at 6 p.m. Tigers have a couple of picks early in that draft. Their first round pick at number 22 and their compensation round pick for losing Max Scherzer at number 34.
I've heard it's a very deep draft this season, which means the Tigers get 3 picks in the first 65, and you know that there'll be a big strong pitcher or two taken in those first 2 picks.
It usually is, isn't it? It'll be interesting to see who goes number 1 overall this year. As Gillespie grounds it foul.
A lot of people believe that that shortstop from Vanderbilt will be the first player chosen by the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Dansby Swanson. The Condors might have 3 guys chosen in the first, I don't know, 5-6 picks.
That what's his name again?
Dansby Swanson.
He's a handsome guy too. He's gonna make some money with his looks too, man. Have you seen him?
I have not.
He is, man. I'm serious.
I've just seen some highlights of him. I haven't seen him at a wedding or anything in a tuxedo.
No, not only can this dude play, man, but he's a good-looking young man.
Well, then he's got it all.
He's gonna make some money.
Good for him. Good for Danby. And his name is Dansby Swanson, so it's a pretty good name too.
And John Keating did an interview today with David Price live on the field here in Tigers Live pregame show. And David Price was talking about the college coach, Tim Corbin, at Vanderbilt. Of course, he played for Tim Corbin there, David Price.
Here's the 0-2. Lifted away.
And he just talked about all the life skills that Tim Corbin taught not only him, but Sonny Gray and a lot of the other really good players that have gone through there under him.
Well, he's been there, Corbin has, since 2003 and finally led them to a NCAA title. So he's turned that program around. Here's the 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gillespie, then Soto, and then Sanchez here in the 4th. The draft is always a fun time. It's, I know it's
Maybe not as thrilling or exciting as the NFL draft. And, you know, those guys certainly get more publicity, but there's a lot of really good amateur players around the country, both at the high school and collegiate levels. It's always fun to see them get the first opportunity at pro ball.
I'm sure we'll probably get a chance to catch up with David Chad at some point in time.
He was drilled foul
during our homestand against the Cubs. He's usually kind enough to come in and share a little bit of what they've drafted. Of course, David Chad, he pretty much runs the draft. He and his scouting staff.
You know, our own Kirk Gibson, his son Cam, he is a good candidate this year in the draft. He's already been drafted once by the Diamondbacks. Good player from Michigan State.
Your son's draft eligible this year too, isn't he?
He is. Always a fun time during the draft. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That is ripped but foul. He got out in front of that one and hit it hard. Nothing but a souvenir, though. 1-2 the count. Connor Gillespie, who is 0 for 1 in this game. So he is making Simon work. That is 5 pitches that he has fouled off in this at bat. Connor played his college ball at Wichita State. Pulled on the ground to second, right at Kinsley. Gillespie is out, 1 away.
And speaking of David Price, he was outstanding in last night's game. 11 strikeouts. At one point in time, he had struck out 11 in a row. David also said that when he threw his bullpen before the game yesterday, he did not feel good at all and was very sluggish in his first 3 innings. But boy, did he get it together.
How can that be? I mean, you hear pitchers say that all the time. Sometimes they have great bullpens. They take it out to the mound and they get shelled. And then the reverse happened to Price last night. Just didn't feel good at all in the bullpen. And when that happens, I would think you go out to the mound with the mindset like, this might be a long night because I just didn't feel good. But he certainly pitched extremely well. Nothing like that bullpen session. And just when the Tigers needed it the most. I mean, they had lost 8 consecutive games. And it's a ball low to Giovanni Soto. Struck out back in the second. And honestly, Price did what guys like him and his stature need to do. Stop losing streaks. He responded. Simon with the 2-0. Hits this one hard to left field. Collins on the move, still going. That is going to jump into the seats for a grand rule double. 1 out, 2 base hit for the number 8 hitter Soto.
Collins didn't take a great route to get to that ball, but I doubt very seriously whether he would have caught it anyway. That ball landed on the warning track before bouncing into left field.
White Sox lead 4-2, looking to add to their lead here in the 4th. Carlos Sanchez will step in, the number 9 hitter who walked in the second with 2 outs and then scored on the Eaton triple. Sanchez, a native of Maracay, Venezuela, which is the hometown to a lot of big league ball players, including our own Miguel Cabrera, Anibal Sanchez. They're both from Maracay. The 0-1. Good pitch, 0-2. Sanchez didn't think it was a strike. Called up from AAA in mid-May. He was hitting .344 down in AAA, but the big league's been a different story. Came in batting .155 today.
Very good defender, though, at second base, trying to drive in Soto, who has doubled with 1 out. Adam Eaton will be next. Simon in this game has given up 4 hits, including the home run by Garcia. There's a ground ball to short. They're going to come to third with the throw. The tag got him.
Ventura might challenge that.
May have snuck in under the tag. I don't know. We'll see if they want to challenge.
Soto hasn't left third base yet. Heads up play by Iglesias, though. But the tag just not applied by Castellanos.
Joe McEwing, their third base coach, immediately said, look at that one. It's really close.
I don't know for sure. We don't know what they're going to do, but it looked like the glove got on the knee before the foot got on the bag.
So there will not be a challenge. When they're that close, managers typically won't challenge the plays because they're not usually overturned.
Not good base running there by Soto, who was already in scoring position. And it forced the issue on a ground ball hit directly at Iglesias. And Iglesias, with all his athleticism, and able to throw the ball over third base to get the out. That way, the easy way.
A good exchange for the Tigers as Sanchez is at first now with 2 outs. Eaton standing in. Simon has slowed the pace considerably here in the 4th. Eaton had a triple that he lined down the left field line in the 2nd inning as Collins stretched out for it. It got by him and scored a run with 2 outs. Runner goes. McCann's throw is in time. Out at second base.
James McCann has got an absolute gun behind the plate. Great exchange and a wonderful throw down to second base.
Got him by a mile. Second time the Sox have had a man erased on the bases. Comerica Bank, raise their expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. Jeep, come discover great deals during the Jeep Drive and Discover event. And by Sargento Shredded Cheese, taste the real difference. Back here in Chicago, hazy day today. It was raining a lot this morning when we got to the ballpark. Tarp was on. Then it cleared out. Hopefully it's going to stay away for the remainder of this one. Tigers right now need some runs. They are down 4-2. Jeff Samardzija goes back to work. James McCann takes it outside. McCann, Iglesias, and Ghosts. Tigers got a run back on the RBI single by J.D. Martinez in the fourth. That made it a 4-2 ball game. There's a strike on McCann, 1-1. McCann came in throwing out 47% of would-be base stealers this year, and then he cut down Sanchez to end the bottom of the fourth.
And as you mentioned, it wasn't even close.
That missed inside, 2-1.
The White Sox have only 18 steals as a team this year, and they've been caught 15 times.
As percentages go, not very good. McCann hits one foul to third base. Skidder back into the seats. James 3 for 9 in the series. Still waiting on the return of Alex Avila, who is taking batting practice here in Chicago over the weekend, and hopefully Alex, who continues to make progress, will be back in the lineup soon. But in the meantime, Can has done a really good job of holding down the fort. Holiday as well. Ball driven in the air to left. Melky Cabrera makes the play. 1 out. Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Now Iglesias. A 5-3 ground out his first at bat. Look for strike 0-1. It's amazing how much in tune hitters are in tune with the weights of their bat and the size of the bats that they use. Iglesias was in the clubhouse in Anaheim. He was looking over a new shipment of bats. They're waiting to put an order in. The 0-1. And he was talking to the rep, and he said, "No, this one just didn't feel right." He goes, "Are you sure it's the same model?" He goes, "No, it's not right." And then they pulled out a little scale, and he put the bat on the scale, and it was not the correct size or ounce or whatever they do.
I've heard that.
I mean, these guys are really in tune. I mean, they just swing a bat and they know if it's right or not.
They do. I mean, it could be off just an ounce or so,
right,
and they know it.
Waiting on deck, Anthony Ghosts. We have 1 out here in the fifth. 0-2 on Iglesias. Swing and a miss. And Samardzija gets him this time. 2 up, 2 down. We remind you to follow the Tigers all season long at 2015 with MLB.com at bat. #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, StatCast, radio broadcast, and a whole lot more. Get MLB at bat on your smartphone or your tablet. And keep up with the Tigers all season. Here's Ghost now with 2 outs. Strikeout, ground out for Ghost. Flared toward left, straight at Cabrera, and it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Samardzija. Tigers baseball today is presented by Bell Time. Fifth, it is 4-2 for the White Sox. Garcia, big 3-run homer in the first inning, 5 RBI in the series, and Tyler Collins getting the start and bumped up in the lineup as well. He's responded. Triple, RBI, and a run scored. Alfredo Simon back to the hill now. Top of the order is up there. Adam Eaton will lead things off. Then Melky Cabrera and Jose Abreu. Each ball club with 4 hits in this game. Eaton showing bunt, did not offer though. 1-0.
Eaton has already tripled down in the left field corner. Therefore, you see Collins in left field really kind of hugging that left field line. Also, Ghost in center field playing well over in left center field, where Eaton hits most of his balls, and then he turns on one.
It's just the way it goes.
Yeah, you know.
1 ball, 1 strike on Eaton. Well, they need him to get going, and he has showed signs of doing that. His month of April was not very good, just 192. Showed some more life in May, but he makes their offense go. And he pulls that one down the right field line. That's going to go to the wall. Extra bases for Eaton. He's going to go to second and stop there.
The previous pitch was a 92-mile-per-hour fastball that Eaton turned on and hit it foul down the right field line, and then he got another one of those splitters up in the strike zone at 86, and it's hanging, and he just turned on it and doubled. So now he is doubled and tripled in this game today.
He was thinking 3, picked up his third base coach. McEwen said stop right there. Now Melky Cabrera with a man at second, nobody out. Cabrera now 0 for 6 in the series. Strike 1.
Primarily the reason why the White Sox have gotten off to such a poor start in 2015, their top 2 hitters just really haven't been all that efficient. You brought up Eaton getting off to a sluggish start, although he's picked it up lately. Melky Cabrera, 171 hits last year for the Toronto Blue Jays, off to a very slow start this year, which means there's no traffic on the base paths when Abreu comes up.
Simon wants his catcher McCann.
We gave you a stat earlier where the White Sox have been outscored 47-15 in the first inning. Well, the 2 hitters, Eaton and Cabrera, they batted first a lot.
Yeah. Well, and they have some guys behind them that will produce runs. Abreu, LaRoche, Garcia, but just have not been getting on base. That has popped up. Third base side, Castellanos going to be bailed up by Iglesias. 1 out. Well, tomorrow, don't miss Team USA's first game as they battle Australia on Fox Sports 1. Plus games all weekend long on Fox, Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2, and it's all streaming live on Fox Sports Go. FIFA Women's World Cup 2015. It's off tomorrow for the United States and Vancouver.
That is a beautiful part of the country.
Oh, isn't it though?
Vancouver.
Here's Abreu. Single and a line out for Abreu.
Especially this time of year. British Columbia.
Swing and a miss.
Were they still in the league when you started broadcasting your games in Tucson?
Yeah, I was going to say the PCL. That was one of the stops of the PCL, and we just couldn't wait to get to Vancouver.
Nat Bailey Stadium.
You know what I remember about Nat Bailey Stadium?
What's that?
The 10,000 stairs I had to climb to get to the press box.
No elevator in minors?
No. Dragging my radio equipment. Puffing and puffing all the way up. But it was worth it. Beautiful ballpark.
Oh, my goodness.
The 0-1. Abreu fights that one off 0-2.
Good hard two-seam fastball at 94 in on the hands of Abreu. That's where you better pitch him now. You got to tie him up. When you allow this guy to extend his arms, he does major damage. That is a beautiful pitch thrown by Alfredo.
Simon trying to strand this leadoff double, but he's going to have to get through the middle of the Chicago lineup to do it. Eaton at second base. It is 4-2. White Sox lead in the bottom of the fifth. Good pickup by McCann, who backhanded that pitch.
This is a nifty pick. Obviously, if this gets past McCann, the runner standing on third base with only one out. So nice job.
Bray, who not only won the Rookie of the Year last year, but he's also fourth in the MVP voting. Swing and a miss, and Simon strikes him out. Big out there, 2 gone.
Another one of those good hard 2-seam fastballs down at 95, swung right through an Xfinity. And it tells us that 95 might be the fastest pitch thrown today by Alfredo Simon. You wonder in this particular situation, even though the on-deck hitter is already homered in the game, and that would be Avisail Garcia, with the base open, are they considering walking LaRoche? Obviously, James McCann has gone out to talk to Alfredo about how important it is not to allow LaRoche to get a base hit here. So we'll see.
All 7 of LaRoche's home runs this year have come against right-handed pitching.
They're going to pitch to him. At least they're going to appear like they're pitching to him.
Simon had a lengthy conversation with McCann. Eaton led off with a double, is still standing there. And LaRoche takes ball 1. LaRoche is just one of 2 guys that are active that have hit 25 or more home runs with 4 different big league teams. Beltre is the other of the Ranger.
It's surprising a guy that hits that many homers and plays first base the way that he does changes uniforms so often.
It is hard to explain. That's it for a strike. 1-1 on LaRoche. Simon now at 76 pitches.
You would think in this situation, if LaRoche got anything close to hitting, he would simply try to hit something to the right side of the left side of the Tigers infield. Castellanos, the only member of the infield standing on that side.
Tap foul. So Simon now is 1 strike away from stranding this double. LaRoche rips it to first. Miguel right there. He'll take it himself. And nothing comes of the leadoff double. Eaton with a 2-bagger. He's stranded at second. 5 in the books. 3-game series, June 9th and 10th. Both games are at 7:08. If you'd like tickets to see the Cubs, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. The Chicago Cubs coming in Tuesday and Wednesday. They're 29 and 25. They've got a lot of good young talent. Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant was called up, and he's done well.
And led by Joe Madden, their new manager, after leaving, opting out of his contract in Tampa.
Tigers in that series will see Lester in game 1. They are familiar with him. Jake Arrieta in game 2.
Seeing their two best.
Yep. So that'll be a good series. Get your tickets now. As Kinsler starts it off here in the 6th inning. Here's a strike called, and the count evens now 1-1. Cabrera, then Cespedes to follow, as Samardzija now has to go through 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup. Kinsler shoots one to the left, base hit. Ian is in there with a leadoff single.
Menards brings you the big money encounter. Miguel Cabrera largely responsible for the first run the Tigers scored today. It was a battle in the first inning. 10th pitch at bat. He fouled off several pitches before finally getting the base on balls out of Jeff Samardzija. And then in the second at bat today, 3rd inning, Samardzija struck him out on an elevated fastball. Miggy left his strike zone.
So here is Cabrera, and Miggy looks at ball 1.
A lot of hard stuff thrown so far today, and from Samardzija to Miguel. A lot of the fastballs 92 to 94. An occasional breaking ball.
Samardzija at one point in this game had retired 8 straight, and then Collins tripled in the 4th inning and scored on a single by Martinez. He's flared back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike on Miguel. I know Samardzija's story by now. He was an outstanding baseball and football player at Notre Dame, an All-American receiver. Was projected to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft. Here's the 1-1.
It's a cut fastball at 93 thrown by Samardzija. That's out of the strike zone, but Miggy swung right through it. It was a ball.
Ground ball to short. This might be 2. Ramirez to second 1. The relay double play. It'll go 6-4-3. 2 outs. I think he almost found a hole there, but Ramirez was able to cut it off.
Yeah, hitting into double plays, really nothing unusual for the Tigers. And they've hit into more than anybody.
As the second double play that the Tigers have hit into. The other one was when Martinez was at second base with 1 out on that fly ball, and they didn't know how many outs there were, where the ball was. 1 of the 2. Cespedes now with the bases empty. Yoenis had a single in the 1st, struck out in the 4th. Right field, ball is hit well. Garcia will turn on this one. It's gone. A line drive home run into the Tigers bullpen in right, and it's a 1-run game.
Yoenis Cespedes has been wearing out the Chicago White Sox pitching staff this year. I believe that's his 4th homer against them.
Yep.
And he does not hit many in this direction. Usually, Yoenis Cespedes' home runs there to left field, and this is proof of what I'm saying. I mean, that's his first home run the opposite way.
Half of his home runs have come against the White Sox for the 8th. A laser beam that was hit over the fence and right. Cespedes makes it a 4-3 game. It'll bring up Tyler Collins.
A lot of extra base hits this year for Cespedes already. Lots of doubles. 8 home runs.
He was tied for the league lead in doubles coming in with 18. Collins fouls it away. Yoenis also picks up his 29th RBI of the year. There you go, 27 extra base hits, which is the 4th highest total in the American League. Grounded back up the middle and through under the glove of Sanchez.
Have a day, Tyler Collins.
3rd hit of the day for Tyler. He's going to bring up J.D. Martinez. Two out, nobody on, and Cespedes homers and Collins singles.
And J.D. Martinez has hit 2 balls right on the screws here today. One to the shortstop and the other one a line drive through the infield for a single.
Driven deep to center field. Eden going back to the track, to the wall. He leaps. That ball is gone. A home run. A 2-run shot to dead center for J.D. Martinez. And the Tigers have the lead. He crushed it, his 10th of the year.
It's a 93-mile-per-hour fastball that was right down the middle, center cut for J.D. Martinez, and Martinez, he goes straight center. And I had just finished telling you that he is right on top of Samardzija all afternoon long. That's the 3rd hard-hit ball of the afternoon turned in by J.D. Martinez.
5-4 Tigers. And the Tigers again do it with 2 outs and nobody on, like they did in the first.
First home run for J.D. Martinez since May 22nd.
Ground ball right back to the mound off Samardzija. Sanchez will get it though. And out at first base, Castellanos. Big inning for the Tigers though. It started with Cespedes, a line drive homer to right. And then J.D. flexing his muscle to dead center field. 2-run shot to give the Tigers the lead. Get the lowest tire price period. Bell Tire. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Well, look at that. The Tigers now have themselves the lead 5-4. A couple of home runs did the trick off Jeff Samardzija. Now the Sox come to the plate here in the bottom of the sixth with Alfredo Simon pitching with the lead.
Yeah, very important for Alfredo to shut the White Sox down in this particular inning, not allowing them to get back into this game.
Garcia is standing in for the Sox. Garcia, Ramirez, and Gillespie. A swing and a miss.
Score a run is what I meant to say, not getting back into the game. They're very much in this game.
5 runs, 8 hits for the Tigers now. The White Sox, 4 runs, 5 hits. Simon's 0-2. Garcia rolls it foul.
Last couple of right-handed batters that Simon has seen in this game. Abreu was the other. That good hard two-seam fastball at 95 barreling in on their hands.
Garcia's home run in the first inning was the White Sox 38th of the year, which is the fewest in the American League. And they're currently on pace for just 111 this season. They haven't hit that low of a number since 1992. This ballpark usually yields a lot more home runs. Some of the offenses the White Sox had over the past decade.
I guess that kind of explains why the home run numbers are down a tick this year in this ballpark. They haven't hit many.
And he got him, strike 3. Garcia called out on strikes, 1 gone. 4 strikeouts now for Alfredo. Thursday, June 18th, the American tradition comes to Fox and Fox Sports 1 for the first time as the greatest golfers in the world converge on the Pacific Northwest for a chance to stamp their names in the history books. Our exclusive coverage of the 115th U.S. Open Championship, live from Chambers Bay, begins June 18th on Fox Sports 1, Fox, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. With 1 out, here is Alexei Ramirez. Ground ball to third. Short hop there by Castellanos. 2 up, 2 down. We'll bring in Connor Gillespie. Gillespie trying to get something started is 0 for 2 today. A couple of ground balls. 1 to first and 1 to second. And he's pulled the ball twice. That's why the Tigers play to shift on him defensively. Only Iglesias to the left side of the infield. Strike 1 on Gillespie. Simon has not allowed a run since giving up the Eden RBI triple way back in the second. Oh my goodness.
You can only laugh. You can only laugh when he throws that thing.
They didn't even register on the gun, I don't think. I'm not sure if Rip Sewell threw one that slow. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss.
Dirty. Split finger at 88. Nice tumbling action. When he gets to that proper arm slot and he throws that thing out in front, he gets some real nice action on this pitch. Look where he releases that ball. He's already 6 feet 6 inches, so when he takes his stride, if you're a hitter, it literally looks like Simon is right on top of you anyway.
Here's the 1-2. Popped up.
Will it find the seats? Let's see. Iglesias still coming. He's going to have a lot of room. And that's going to be it. 6 straight retired now by Simon. 1, 2, 3 they go. For the Tigers in this one, in a back and forth affair. Hey, did you see this, Rod?
I did catch a glimpse of Paul Konerko and Jermaine Dye, and I believe there's an Aaron Rowan and a Joe Creedy out there.
And it's Joe Creedy. Apparently, Jermaine Dye is going to win this one. And it's going to be the second win of the year for Jermaine Dye. They're not really exerting a lot of energy, are they?
Not much. Not breaking the sweat. Look at Paulie.
All right, here we go. Tigers will bat in the 7th inning, facing Jeff Samardzija. A wave and a miss by McCann. James to be followed by Iglesias, and then Anthony Gose. The struggles of Jeff Samardzija this year continue. He's given up 2 home runs in this game, 5 runs on 8 hits in the contest.
And he's coming off one of his worst starts in his major league career. 5 days ago against the Texas Rangers, a career high 12 hits, and he gave up a career high 9 runs.
His previous 2 starts against the Tigers this year were pretty good. This one not so much. There's a ball low. 2-1 now, the count on McCann. Samardzija gave up just 1 run in 8 innings back in April against the Tigers. Here's the 2-1 pitch to center field. Eaton circles. 1 out.
Some of you may have been watching Giovanni Soto, the catcher, really having a difficult time of throwing the ball back to the pitcher Samardzija, and it's just something that he can't shake. He's not the only catcher that has had this issue, but for whatever reason, if he stands up and he tries to throw the ball back to the pitcher, he throws it over their head. Gerald Laird, who caught for the Tigers just a couple of years ago, had a little bit of a trouble throwing the ball back to the pitcher. There's no name for it. It's tough.
Well, I guess it's the equivalent, of an infielder who has throwing problems. They call it the yips.
Yep. Or the thing.
Yeah, but
Knobloch, Steve Sachs.
It makes you wonder, because if he's got to throw a guy out at second base, he can reach back and throw it. Oh, look at that. Garcia nearly misplayed that ball. It popped out of his glove and then back in. Well, he got lucky there. 2 outs. Iglesias probably thinking that ball's over his head, and it looked like it.
He was playing him shallow. He took one step in, and that ball had some backspin, some carry on it, and a nice recovery job here by Garcia. Yeah, but there have been quite a few second basemen that have had that issue in the past. Some catchers have had that issue. But you bring up a great point. If there's a runner on first base and he steals, they have no problem.
No.
Shifting their feet, throwing a gun down, a ball down to second base.
And I assume what people say is those plays are just reaction plays where they're instinctual and the problem doesn't come into effect. There's the ball down low. 1 ball, 1 strike on Anthony Gose. We're in the 7th in a 1-run game. Tigers have the lead. Gose is 0 for 3 today against the margin. That's to shallow center field. Eaton coming on. It'll be a 1-2-3 inning. Coming up, the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Back here in Chicago, where the Tigers and the White Sox are wrapping up this series. Right now, Detroit, courtesy of 3-run 6th inning, leads 5-4. And Alfredo Simon in the bottom of the 7th, facing Soto, Sanchez, and Eaton. 8, 9, and 1 in the lineup for Robin Ventura. Tigers offense right for the 2nd consecutive day waking up. I mean, there was a stretch there, of course, the 8-game losing streak where hits were hard to come by, let alone runs.
Well, you knew someone would pay sooner or later. In yesterday's game, just a remarkable job done by the latter third of the Tigers batting order. That would be McCann and Iglesias and Josh Wilson got a start. They had 10 of the Tigers' 18 hits. Miguel paved the way with a big home run early. And today the bats have woken up again, trailing in this one, but to come back and take the lead 5-4.
Cespedes, a big game. Collins, 3 hits. Martinez, 2 hits and a homer.
Yeah, yesterday it was the bottom 3. Today it's the middle of Brad Ausmus's batting order getting it done.
Here is Giovanni Soto. Double and a strikeout in this game for Soto. And he almost hit him. 1 ball, no strikes.
Simon's pitch count is in really good shape. He's only thrown 89 total. And really hasn't pitched in a whole lot of stress. I mean, he gave a big home run to obviously Garcia, but other than that, not a lot of stress. pitched in today by Alfredo.
Not at all, especially since the third inning on. And I should say Simon rather has retired 6th in a row. He has now thrown 90 pitches in this game.
Ratio not bad. 61 strikes, 29 balls.
Here's the 2-0. Sox had a 1-out double in the 4th, couldn't score. A leadoff double in the 5th and couldn't score. Swing and a miss. Two and two on Giovanni Soto. One for 5 plus a walk in the series. Swing and a miss, struck him out. 7 straight retired now by Alfredo. Hey, the Tigers conclude their weekend series with the Indians on Sunday, June 14th at 1:08. It's Sunday Kids Day, and all kids 14 and under receive a free J.D. Martinez poster. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. The kids get a J.D. poster. Carlos Sanchez with 1 out. Strike call. Sanchez on base twice, reaching on a fielder's choice in the 4th. He walked and scored. He was back in the 2nd. Simon missing high. Alfredo really no different than most pitchers with nobody on base. He's got himself a pretty good clip and a pretty good pace going, but with base runners he has slowed things down tremendously today, but he's in a nice groove right now. He brings home a 1-1. 1-2 on Carlos Sanchez. Adam Eaton on deck. Tigers today out hit the White Sox 8-5. They lead by a run 5-4.
The one thing Simon does not do, he does not throw many four-seam fastballs, many straight fastballs. Either his fastballs are sinking at 95 or they're cutting at about 92, 93.
Swing and a miss.
Oh, it's dirty. That's a fastball right there. It's a fastball. It's 90 miles an hour, and it's called a cutter. And it's acting like a slider in many ways.
Sanchez would agree with your assessment. That was pretty much unhittable. And that's 6 strikeouts now for Alfredo.
When you get the fastballs crisscrossing in the strike zone via the cutter that we just saw in the previous pitch at 95, the sinker inside, you're on to something. Hitters don't know what to look for.
Eaton an RBI triple in the 2nd. He doubled to lead off the 5th, but they stranded him. Here's the 1-0. So that was an even 100 for Simon on the day. I think pretty much in the teens. Two and one. Should Eaton get on? Melky Cabrera waiting on deck.
Here's the 2-1 offering. 2-2 now on Eaton. And to reach here and put the tying run on base with Cabrera lurking. The White Sox haven't done anything since the early innings in this game. They got the 3-run homer from Garcia in the first and then a run in the second. And since then, Alfredo's put up 0. Swing and a miss. Tipped it in the glove for strike 3. Simon strikes out the side here in the 7th.
Look out, Big Pop.
In this game. Tigers bats coming alive though, and that's one of their big reasons they have the lead here today. Last 2 games compared to their previous 11.
And 2-9 in those 11 games where their batting average was at .211. And they weren't doing very well with runners in scoring position, but the last 2 days the offense has kind of performed the way that many expected it would when they left spring training.
And Jeff Samardzija goes back to work as we go to the 8th. And it's Ian Kinsler, Miguel Cabrera, Yoenis Cespedes. Kinsler lines one to right center field. That's down, a base hit and more. Garcia goes over to cut it off. He'll fire it back in. Kinsler dives in with a double. Big leadoff 2-base hit for Ian, his 2nd hit in this game.
It's good to see Ian Kinsler starting to get a few more hits. We talked about Ian his first couple of times up. He flew out into the right fielder, Garcia, so he's trying to hit something in that direction. This time he gets himself a hustling double.
Cabrera fouls it back out of play 0-1.
Miggy's a team player. He is trying to drive that ball the opposite way, which would get Kinsler over to third with 1 out. A few innings ago, Miggy fielded a ground ball off the bat of LaRoche. It was a hard hit ground ball, and his hand got in the way of the glove, and I think the ball made contact with his right hand, and you can see after that first swing Miggy just took. It's still bothering him a little bit.
Cabrera was shaking his hand after that ball was hit right at him, and he made the play at first base.
Yeah, and he was shaking it again after that ball that he just hit there. He hit it off the end of the bat.
Ground ball back up the middle. Ramirez thought about coming to third.
I'm surprised he didn't. I thought maybe he had a play.
He did have a play. But maybe because he was shaded so far towards second, he thought better of it. So Cabrera advances the runner.
Well, you be the judge. There's Kinsler running. Ball's in his glove now. And it looked like he had plenty of time to get him, but they didn't want to force the issue. They took the sure out. You see Ian's looking back. He's anticipating that it's going to be a play at third base.
Infield in a couple of steps. Grounded to third and right by a diving Gillespie that'll score the run.
Miguel Cabrera did his job by getting the runner over to third base. Cespedes does his job by driving him in.
Big run for the Tigers. They lead by 2 now, 6-4.
Yoenis Cespedes has hit everything that Samardzija has thrown up there this afternoon.
Yeah, that's his 3rd hit of the game. His 2nd RBI of the game. And another rocky outing for Samardzija. He will depart trailing 6-4. Wall side windows pitching change. And we'll be back. Mentioned earlier, Rod, Lester and Arrieta, of 2 of the top pitchers in the game, will go for the Cubs.
And which means that Sanchez and also Shane Green are going to have to pitch a little bit better than they have lately. And Sanchez checks in with an earned run average over 5.5, which is very odd for him with his skill set. And Shane Green, he's struggled a bit lately too.
Here's Zach Duke, the left-hander, takes over out of the bullpen for Chicago. And the Tigers are going to counter with a move of their own. Look at the numbers on Duke. It'll be Rajai Davis pinch hitting. Tigers have scored a run.
And Duke's got a couple different fastballs that he uses. He's got a 4-seamer, about 88, 89 miles an hour. He'll sink the fastball, same velocity. He also throws a changeup quite a bit. Slider and a curveball. So he's got everything.
Tyler Collins had 3 hits, lifted for a pinch hitter here with the lefty coming on. Tigers 4, 5, and 6 hitters today, 8 for 10. So it's the middle of the lineup getting it done as opposed to the bottom of the lineup last night. Davis fouls it off. Petrishka warming up now for the White Sox, the right-hander. Another foul at home plate. 0-2 on Rajai Davis. Six runs on 10 Tigers hits now. They've knocked Samardzija out of the game here in the 8th.
Cespedes, a big game. He's just knocked in a run, his second run of the game, to make it 6-4. Davis, a bouncer back up the middle, might be 2. That's a 6-4-3 down at first base. Wait a minute, says Brad Ausmus. They want to look at it. And home plate. Davis will stay in this game, and he will take over for Collins in left. Meanwhile, Alfredo Simon will go out there for the 8th inning.
And pitching into the 8th inning for the 4th time this year.
Both of today's starters going into the 8th, and here is Melky Cabrera to lead things off. Cabrera, Abreu, and LaRoche, and the first one is in for a strike. A tough day for Melky, 0 for 3. And then 2 of those at bats had runners in scoring position after a double and a triple. Tigers have doubled up the hit totals on the White Sox, 10-5. Oh, 2. Really got to like what you're seeing out of Simon today after he gave up that 3-run homer in the first and then a triple to drive in a run in the second.
Well, he just kind of shut down the White Sox after that and allowed his offense to get to some margin, which they did.
To the tune of 6 runs on 10 hits. There's another pop-up off the bat of Cabrera. Baseman Castellanos, 1 gone. Bring up Jose Abreu. A single and 3 at bats for Abreu. Abreu fouls it off 0-1.
He has given Abreu a steady diet of those hard 94-mile-per-hour two-seam fastballs off the plate on his hands, and Abreu has not been able to lay off of them. They're not strikes, but he continues to swing at them.
Simon
going right back in there again.
to the third baseman Castellanos. 2 up, 2 down. Check in with John Keating with a preview of today's Tigers Live.
Certainly the story of the day is Alfredo Simon and him bouncing back after the rough beginning. You'll hear from the Tigers starter on the Tigers Live postgame show with Johnny Kane and Craig Monroe in the Call Sam studios. And you'll hear from home run hitting J.D. Martinez along with Brad Austin. Tigers Live right after the game here in Chicago on Fox Sports Detroit. Mario, right?
All right, John, thanks. Meanwhile, 2 gone here in the 8th, and Simon has now set down 11 consecutive batters. He has thrown 108 pitches as he faces Adam LaRoche. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Here's Kinsler on the backhand. Easy 1-2-3 inning for Simon. He needed just 6 pitches, and he's retired 12 straight.
Afternoon long. His first time up, he about undressed the shortstop Alexi Ramirez with a hard line drive. Second time up, solid single right back through the middle with the same approach. He didn't give up on it. Third time up, big fly straight away center field to put the Tigers in the lead. I really like the approach as shown by J.D. Martinez today, homering for the first time since May 22nd.
So Martinez will face a new pitcher at a Wallside Windows pitching change. Jake Petrichka has come on now for the Sox.
And we saw Petrichka a couple days ago. A heavy dose of sinker balls thrown by Petrichka.
Here those numbers again. His 22nd appearance, 4.00 ERA.
Petrichka also features a changeup and a slider.
High fly ball into right field. Garcia coming in under it. JD is retired, 1 gone in the 9th. Here's Nick Castellanos. 6-4. The Tigers have a lead here in the 9th inning, trying to win 2 out of 3. And 2 straight after dropping 8 consecutive games.
You had to think that a couple of days ago, man, and Joaquin Soria gave up the game-tying home run in the 9th to Adam LaRoche, and then the hit batter by Alex Wilson to walk the Tigers off. You had to believe that that was pretty much rock bottom.
Well, yeah, it appears that way. There's Ramirez making the play, and there are 2 gone. Because I'm not sure anything else could have happened to top that.
No.
Soria warming up right now, and he'll be coming in the bottom of the 9th. James McCann will bat against Petrichka. McCann is over today. Pop up, fly out, fly out. 278 batting average. The other thing about today is the Tigers offense has taken care of business in terms of not leaving too many guys on base. Only 2 left on base in this game, and both of them were way back in the first. When they had gotten opportunities later in the game, they cashed in. A little swing and a miss, 0-2. Now James McCann. Chop towards short on the charge. Ramirez, nice barehanded play, got it. Alexi Ramirez showing off a little bit with a terrific barehanded play to throw out James McCann. And the Tigers go 1-2-3, which gets us to the bottom of the ninth.
Time, and it is always brought to you by Miller Lite. And Simon gave up a big home run early in the game, 3-run variety to Avisail Garcia, and he really settled in after that. The home run came on a split-fingered fastball. He threw quite a few more splitters in the game, but he gave the White Sox a heavy dose of good two-seam fastballs and a lot of cutters. He threw more fastballs today for me than he had in recent starts, and I think that was one of the reasons why he was able to slow them down.
12 straight to go down at the hands of Simon, and now Romine will take over at third base, and Joaquin Soria takes over on the hill. He's got Garcia, Ramirez, Gillespie.
15 of 17 for Soria in the save department. He blew his second save of the year a couple of nights ago here.
Garcia, 3-run shot, a walk and a strikeout. Look out, line foul to first base.
Watch out, Darryl Boston.
Darryl Boston did a backward somersault there.
That's not quite like Tommy Lasorda a few years back in the All-Star game, but it's close.
No, it's nothing like Tommy Lasorda. This showed a little bit of athletic ability right here.
It wasn't even close to DB. You remember that Tommy Lasorda?
Oh, that was a whole different story there.
That was funny stuff. It was funny.
2-1 on Garcia. Javi Garcia now with 6 home runs. Soria looking to nail this one shut, give the Tigers 2 out of 3. Popped up foul. Five hits for the White Sox today. That is it. They haven't had one since the Leadoff double in the 5th inning by Adam Eaton, but that's when Simon went on his string of retiring 12 in a row. Ground ball to second. It'll be routine there for Kinsler. Garcia's out.
Soria features a fastball these days. It tops out at about 93 miles an hour. He used to get up to about 95 when he was closing for the Kansas City Royals. He still throws a lot of strikes. He also has a changeup and a curveball that he uses more so than his changeup. So pretty much good two-seam fastballs and cutters from Soria, and the change and the curveball, slow curveball.
Here's Alexi Ramirez with 1 out, and it's hit for a strike. Alexi in the ballgame is 0 for 3.
Tigers are looking to take their 6th consecutive series right here at U.S. Cellular Field.
2 outs away. The 0-1. Headed back out of play. Gillespie waiting on deck. If Soria gets Ramirez here, he'll be their last chance. Slice to right field, base hit. So it's a 1-out single. That'll bring the tying run to the plate.
It's a nice job by Ramirez, who for the most part does not use right field all that often, but he took the base hit the opposite way in this particular at bat.
So here's Gillespie. J.B. Shuck has moved to the on-deck circle as well. It was Soto's spot due next. White Sox had their first base runner since the 5th inning. And Eaton let it off with a double. One-0 is outside. Now it's 2-0 on Connor Gillespie. Soria retired Garcia on the ground out. Ramirez has just singled to right. High fly ball, center field play. Anthony Ghost is back, and there are 2 gone. So that'll bring up the pinch hitter J.B. Shuck. Shuck, the former Angel, will stand in now. White Sox last opportunity, 6-4 Detroit. Shuck split time last year between the Angels and the Indians. They're not holding the runner at first base. The left-handed batter up there.
And make sure you give yourself as much room on that side of the infield that you possibly can to make a play. And should Shuck hit something in Mickey's direction.
Shuck had a pinch hit base hit in the 8th inning of the first game of the series. Runner goes. They will pay no attention to him. A strike is called on Shuck. 1-1 the count. Well, Gordon Beckham has moved to the on-deck circle. Hopefully he won't get a chance. Strike called on Shuck on the outside corner. He didn't like that call from Chris Guccione.
Nice cut fastball at 93, located beautifully by Joakim Soria. May have been a touch off the plate, but a nice frame job by the rookie catcher, James McCann.
One strike away now for Soria. Shuck rips it to first for the final out of the ball game, right at Miguel Cabrera. And the Tigers will take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. Joakim Soria comes out of the bullpen to get it done here in the 3rd and final game of the series as the Tigers win it over the Sox. 6-4 your final score. We'll be back to Chicago.